We're live, recorded. What day is it?
Sunday, July 30th. It's 12:56 p.m. Pacific time. We're on the west coast of America.
Correct. We're doing this in the daytime. Our light looks good. I got a little bit rosy red cheeks. This is Skull.
Hi.
I'm Jay. Hi. And Skull decided to be a little bit awkward. Anyway, so we have been working on a painting project, starting out with the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. We started with the ceiling.
Yeah. And so that's what we just wrapped up doing for
This
a
rental
little bit.
apartment is like landlord beige.
As you can see.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. And
So someday it'll be a different color. And we should try to get a lease. I mean, I've talked to other people about this stuff too,
like a contract agreement for a long
yeah.
term. Yeah. No, I agree.
So they can't just raise the rent because it's like if they could come back and be like, yeah, we'll give you a 6 month because you're month to month now, right?
Yeah.
So 6 months means they can like raise your rent twice a year instead of once a year or whatever, just like a 2 month year
As
agreement
opposed
would.
to whenever they want right now.
Well,
With
but they have to
90
give you
days
some, yeah, 90
notice.
days, right? So that's 3 months.
Yeah.
So right, they could every 3 months, but if
Yeah.
you had a 6 month lease, then it's so anyway. Renting is terrible.
And like why aren't we getting a deal for paying all the time on time?
Because that's not part of the contract, you
Yeah.
know?
And like I don't know, I talked to a neighbor the other day and she was just like, "Yeah, the landlord like has issues even getting rent from people." And I'm like, "Why are they still here?"
Right,
But
yeah.
I know that there's like tenant laws and
And there's not like cheaper
housing
places they could just go
rights.
live in a more affordable place. No, like that's
Right.
not an
This is
option,
pretty affordable for the area. So,
Right, and now that word affordable means like what? I mean, because it like, is it affordable for the area?
right, right.
You know?
It's the cost effective option that's available, I guess is maybe the
Yeah.
better term.
Right, when they say in the housing crisis, when there's reports, they say like there aren't enough houses, but there's not enough houses on the market. There's not enough houses available. Uh,
But people have
it's not
multiple
that there's
homes,
right. There's empty homes sitting
properties.
around. There's empty houses sitting around. There's unrented apartments. It's just that there's not, and that's why. So for people looking for lower cost houses, they're getting bid up, right? That's a national phenomenon. So if there's a house on the market for, I don't know, under four, I mean whatever under that number is, maybe somebody's looking for something. I think once you hit that like 500-ish number, they're not really getting bid up anymore because there are some on the market that are like that. But for folks looking for, yeah, a $250,000 house, they find one that's on sale for 200 and then offer 275 or whatever. It's no one for a lower price home is lowering the price. It's getting bid up by people competing for those. Um, so I was going to test your knowledge of the Democrat Party. Why don't they paint Bezos and Musk as the radical right wingers that they are? Like you hear Fox News or Republican commentators, they're like radical socialist Joe Biden, who's like the credit card guy and is like not a radical socialist at all. They talk about these really moderate, like pro capitalism, pro war Democrats. They're like they're all radical left wingers, and the radical left wing of the Democrat Party is what's you know leading the charge and commanding the rest of them what to do. But you don't hear the Democrats saying that about Republicans. It's not. They talk about Trump as if he's his own thing, and there's the rest of these reasonable, moderate Republicans, and it's just Trump, who's not even as right wing as a lot of the actual like Congress people that are in the federal government. And then outside you hear about, oh yeah, the woke left is censoring our internet content. It's like, no, the owners of these internet companies, Zuckerberg too, they're Republicans. They're like right wing Republicans. So why don't the Democrats like make that clear to everyone?
Make what clear? Just that they're just conservative right wingers.
Yeah, that, like, how come we don't hear from so-called liberal media every time they say Elon Musk, they don't say like, Republican donor Elon Musk, Republican supporter Elon Musk.
I think that it's like kind of twofold. Like maybe yeah, he is right wing. Um, and then like what are they doing by like saying that he's right wing? Like are they urging people to go, I don't know, to the right, or maybe like people from the right don't embrace him because I don't know, I'm just making things up, but like because he's into like electric car energy and people like their big trucks and gasoline
Mm-hmm.
and maybe he has like more wives than people are comfortable with like thinking about or like whatever or like I don't know. He's just he. I mean, he's. I'm pretty sure this is him, but I think he said that he like has autism, or like is autistic, or like is on the spectrum, and like maybe people don't want that like in their like I don't know idol whatever um
Well, because
leadership
I
team or
understand why the
whatever. So
Republicans
like
don't. You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
They
but
want to be
like
able to have like straw men, enemies. They want to be able to say like, we're because I heard this. Who was it? Some Republican just recently, and he was saying, we're the counterculture. We're the modern day hippies. We're the ones standing up to authority. It's absurd, but they really think that. They take that word rebel like really seriously. They think they're the rebels. They think that the liberals or the left or are in charge and are authoritarian, and that it's up to right wing Republicans to like fight against the power. They think of themselves as counterculture. They think of mainstream culture, which they're wrong, but they think mainstream culture is like radical left wing stuff because it's not okay to be racist or whatever.
right, right.
So like I think that's part of like what you're saying. Like they don't want to. If it's like Elon Musk is conservative, then he's the one in power with authority, right? So that like they
Right.
takes
Well,
away their rebel cred.
right, right. Well, I mean, how can you say that though about Trump? Like, how can so many people follow Trump? Is it because he's like, I don't know, like tuning into some sort of like masculinity bullshit?
Well, he's
Like,
the outsider, right? He was a Washington outsider. He had
mm,
never been. I mean, it's a crock of shit.
he has
Of course, he's
money.
not the outsider, right? Right? He was always involved in politics. He was friends with presidents before he ran for. He was not friends with Obama, but he was friends with like Bill Clinton and whatever, Ronald Reagan, all these people. Like he was definitely like because he's a billionaire, he's like an insider to begin with. He is the power and authority under capitalism,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, but that's how he sold himself to the voters. Hey, I'm the outsider. I'm gonna drain the swamp. I'm gonna go in and clean up. I'm not some Washington insider, right? And then he put himself up against not just Schumer, Pelosi, and Democrats, and whoever he was running against, Hillary Clinton or whatever. But he put himself up against the so-called Republican establishment, right? Mitch McConnell and all these other Mitt Romney,
Right.
whoever he was running against or whoever he didn't like his style. It's like, see, even the Republicans don't like me.
Mm-hmm.
So his voters, the non politician Republicans are like, yeah, this guy's the rebel. This guy's showing what America's all about, like standing up to authority. I mean, they think of him as standing up to authority, and they think the whole Republican Party, even if they're like, oh, we don't like Trump, we didn't like January 6th or whatever, they still think of the other Republicans, the conservative white men, as standing up to the authority of
Of
the
themselves.
woke left. No, the woke left, according to them, are in charge. You know.
But that's not true. Like he was an actual president. Like how could he like
Right. The Supreme Court is radical right wing right now. They have the authority.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a lot of like what rhetoric is what they call it.
Yeah.
A lot of like controlling the narrative.
Yes. That's my question. Why don't the Democrats control the narrative when it comes to these right wing tech CEOs? That's my initial question. Like, why Jeff Bezos is the most anti-labor, anti-union, anti-worker,
I think that
bad for the working class guy, open about it, bad for the environment, just rich for rich's sake, status quo Republican guy, but he never gets painted that way by Democrats.
I think that there is an element of maybe people being scared to say something because they will be attacked for being into censorship. Since they are they run these big social media tech companies. So I don't know, I feel like that's part of it, but then there's another part it was when Musk took over Twitter, there was a lot more censorship.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. Does it have to do with money? Power?
Yeah.
Power and money?
Well, I mean, money, I think they're donors, right? So if Bezos is hedging, he's like, I'm going to donate to these conservative capitalist Democrats, and I'm going to donate to these Republicans. Whoever wins is in my pocket, And I'm sure that's what they all do. Zuckerberg, Musk, those three at least. I'm sure that's kind of the game that they're playing. And so certain Democrats who are receiving those donations aren't going to say anything, right? That's what we always talk about. We were talking about housing earlier this episode. If y'all want to rewind and re-listen to the just sparkling content that we're just putting out here, it's gold, internet gold. But the biggest donors, especially on the local level, to political campaigns, are real estate developers. That's a thing, and so that's why the housing crisis is so exacerbated and never changes, because they're like, no, you can't have vacancy taxes. No, you can't have rules about density that'll make our real estate developing projects worth less money. I always do the example of, just very theoretically, let's say you're building, we've got this plot of land, we can put 10 small $100,000 homes, townhouses, whatever, or we can do one $2 million home. And someone will buy this $2 million home, and it's going to be one sale. One real estate agent's going to have to make one deal, and it's going to take a lot less labor, construction workers to build. It's going to be less money to build, and the price is just exponentially more than 10 $100,000 homes. It's double. So the profit is way, way more. And so if a government comes in and says, hey, on this plot of land that we're licensing out to be developed, we need it to be dense, affordable housing. Real estate developers will be like, okay, we're just not going to do it. Why would we spend our money? And the Democrat, whatever, politicians at the county level are like not even proposing that they have to do some density or affordable housing because the developers already said, hey, we'll donate to your campaign if you never propose that we have to do like high density affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you won't propose that. Here's a campaign donation. Good luck on re-election or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess I was in the mood to talk some politics about that. Well, we were talking about while we were painting the ceiling, talking about Spotify and how the quality of these things keep changing. The promise of the internet, in the late '90s, turn of the century, was like, no one's gonna have to commute anymore. You can all work from home because the internet exists.
Yeah. And we kind of had a little glimpse of that promise again during COVID. During peak COVID quarantine, pandemic shutdown.
Right. A lot of people got to work from home, and it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yes. I agree. I also got to work from home for one of my jobs, and then obviously school from home as well. But
And we were talking the other night to someone who works at a company that and as we've discussed in when we're talking about trying to start a business, like there's like the real estate project, and then there's what your business is doing. And so this person has to go into work. I think he had like a hybrid deal, but they're holding on to, because the same company that runs the business that he does owns the building, and so they rent from themselves. And so if they stopped having to do in-person work, this internet work, then they wouldn't be making the profits from the renting. They would, they'd have. So the way things are tied in, I mean, we've talked about insurance, right? Like, hey, we're paying insurance on this building. We got to have these people come in and use it. If we're gonna have janitors, like we're gonna have an empty building and just pay janitors, and this is the mindset, the ultimate capitalist mindset of landlordship is, you don't want to sell the building, you rent it.
mm-hmm.
Don't sell it to someone who's going to use it, because it's that much more profits in the long term. And with immortal corporations, because I had this idea that maybe if you didn't have immortal corporations, you could, at some point when somebody's ready for retirement, they might cash out, even if in the long term they make more money renting a building. Okay, I'm old enough now, I just want this lump sum, let me sell it,
Right.
and put it back into productive use. But now it's like, no, this corporation, it's like it's part of a portfolio. It's not some individual who's ready to cash out. It's, what is this portfolio worth over the next 30 years? And so you're not even, the thought of selling a building doesn't even cross their mind, like just keep it. And because there's no penalty, even not even a government penalty, but because, like, as for a vacancy tax, say, hey, you have to make productive use out of this real estate. We don't have that. There's even like, oh, you can write it off. You can say you're losing money on this and then write off the taxes, because you say, hey, we estimated we were going to rent it for this much. This is the market price, so-called. It never goes down, right? The price of real estate rentals can't go down in our system. And so what we do is we just have more and more vacant units, commercial or residential, because you never have to lower your prices, and you never have to sell. Like, you're disincentivized from selling, and you can say, hey, the market price is this. Even though we've got a huge homelessness epidemic, we've got people who are not homeless that are spending 3/4 of their income on rent, and you've got, people packed in whatever, and then you've got empty units. So, but the market price is X, and so I can't rent it for X, even though that's the market price. Nobody wants to spend this huge amount of money, so I get to write off the taxes and not lose money anyway. And so there's just no incentive to sell the building because you're not making money on it, because you're still at least using it as a tax write-off. All right, so like, comment, subscribe. Republic Today, republictoday.net. Please tell us your real estate advice. What should we do? I want to do abstract paintings for a living.
Yeah.
For a living, I want to be able to like pay my housing with that, making art. I don't want to have to like do the sales part. I just want to like do the paintings.
Like, comment, subscribe. We're looking for real estate advice, financial advice, business advice.
Tell us tell us about Democrats. Like, why do they don't paint these right wingers as right wingers?
Yeah. All of that. All right. Thanks for listening.